Good day everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we have another unboxing of a knife style that I don't yet own in my collection, the Funayuki. Now the Funayuki, the English translation of Funayuki literally means going into boat. And it is a knife that back in the day they would use almost as their knife that does everything for their boat duties for fishermen. So think of it as being thick between, say, a common nowadays Gyuto and a deba. It has the shape slightly of a deba, but could be a little bit longer, and they would use it for everything from filleting to even meal prep for their meals on the boat. So I'm super excited to see what's in here, and we will get into this package. But first, a big thank you. This knife is courtesy of Tony and Zach at Tokushu Knife. Check them out in the link below. Thank you very much, Tony and Zach. Can't wait to get into this Funayuki. Now, the other thing too is this is from, of course, as usual, there's so many Smiths out there. It's always from a Smith I don't have yet. This is going to be from Kyohei Shindo. And a little bit like either the Konosuke video or the video about Fuku knives, Fuku-san is an up-and-coming blacksmith, and so with Shindo-san, same thing. I kind of want to shed a bit of light like I did on the Konosuke Fujiyama line. That video is up here, and so what I will do once I unbox it, I will reveal my first impressions, but then I'm going to talk a little bit about Shindo-san's journey. If for some reason the lighting, anything looks a little bit different, I'm trying a new setup. I upgraded my camera from the Fujifilm X-T2 to the X-T4. It's a pretty nice upgrade. And I also got myself a set of RGB LED lights because it reminds me of Wolfing It Down's YouTube channel. Great YouTuber who has some amazing food footage. I would like to do more food videos, but I can't compete against people like Wolfing It Down or, of course, Binging with Babish, so check out his channel. And so without further ado, let's dig into this package. But first, one last thing. I also do want to apologize to some of you. I'm not sure what's going on with YouTube. Sometimes I get alerts that say, so-and-so person commented, I want to reply, I click, the comment is gone. It doesn't contain any offensive language. It doesn't have any weird characters in the username. So if anyone out there is a YouTube genius, let me know in the comments below. Hopefully I can see that comment. What do you think is going on? Because I've researched it and I don't see anything wrong with the way I've set up the channel. Now, without making you wait any longer, what do you say we take the trusty Higo and get into this package? Now you guys know I like to tease you. I like to really wait before we get into the box. It's great for me because it really tests my patience, and hopefully you guys don't mind it too much. I want to share one other thing before I see what is in the box and talk to you about my first impressions. This knife, so the Funayuki from Shindo-san. Shindo-san actually works out of Tosa. So fun fact about Tosa for your next dinner party, whenever we're allowed to do those again, or wear a mask at your next dinner party, whatever. Point is, when people are discussing and they're saying interesting things and everyone's laughing, I want you to say, yes, yes, interesting, quite a sophisticated conversation. I have a fun fact for you. Did you know that Tosa Binchotan comes from, wait for it, the Tosa region? That's right, this knife from Tosa is also where Tosa Binchotan comes from. So not sure if any users out there like to have a Conroe grill. I have a Conroe grill as of last summer, and I actually use Tosa Binchotan. So when I found out this knife was from Tosa, I owed it to myself and to you, the viewers, to be like, is that a coincidence, or does Tosa Binchotan also come from there? Well, Tosa does. So there you have it, fun fact for today. Now let's go and take a look at what's in the box. So here's the box. Yeah, I think this is the correct side to show you the maker's mark. A little label right there, which says Kyohei O Kurokeyaki Funayuki. I know it's 165 millimeters. Now, there is a stock Funayuki, which they sell on Tokushu Knife. I opted to have the custom handle. The stock knife is 89 USD with $10 extra if you want it sharpened by Zach, who puts a phenomenal edge on it. He'll use anything from a 1000 stone to a Japanese natural stone, depending on the knife, to really try to optimize its cutting performance. And with the custom handle that I put on it, it'll retail at 159 USD. Ooh, that's a nice handle. I love that part, just seeing the handle first. So let's talk about the handle. So the handle, this is a light paddock. So funny thing about this wood, I looked it up. It's basically a tropical hardwood from the P family, similar to rosewood. So this is a light colored paddock, P-A-D-A-U-K if you want to look it up. And then we have a beautiful ebony handle. I gotta say, first impressions, this knife is incredibly light. Remember when I told you the Funayuki back in the day was somewhere in thickness between a Gyuto and a Deba, could be a bit longer in 165, relatively flat profile. I'm not expecting this to be a thick knife just because of how it feels in hand. Love the saya cover, the way the knife is protected. Typically, I just kind of find either a piece of newspaper or bubble wrap. This is a nice little touch. So newspaper, which I will keep for probably the paper test, but as well as just this slight little plastic saya. By the way, see that pink hue? That's from the RGB light. I think it's cool, but you guys let me know. Maybe it's too much for knife videos. Alright, so beautifully crafted handle, extremely light. Not sure if I'm getting that lightness just because I'm holding the handle and not the knife, but definitely the knife is not tending to weigh down the handle. So it already feels like it almost feels more handle heavy than blade heavy, which is strange for most knives. I think this is going to be an extremely thin knife. But let's get into it. Really nice contouring too on that handle. Have a look. Alright, here we go. Ooh, heck yeah. That is a sexy knife. So, what you have here is the Funayuki. This is blue steel number 2, also known as Aogomi number 2. It is ironclad, not stainless steel clad, and based on a conversation I had with Tony, it's not sanmai, it's warikomi. So the difference there is sanmai, think of it like a sandwich, right? Your 2 layers of white bread or whole wheat bread or whatever you want to use for your sandwich, that would be your outer steel, and your core steel would be whatever you put in the middle. Warikomi is when they take, say in this case, the iron, it's one piece, they wedge through it, but not all the way, and then they take the core steel and they sandwich it in there. So it's more like a taco shell, right? Taco shell, you put your filling, in this case it would be just one filling, and you flip it closed, that's warikomi. So this is a warikomi forged knife. Freaking gorgeous. Man, this thing is light. Have a look at that spine. That's not what I expected. I thought it was going to be thicker. Very nice. Alright, so first impressions. It is as light as I thought. Let's see where the balance point is. No, actually, you know what? I thought it might be a bit handle heavy. But no, that balance point is pretty much, oh, barely. But pretty much right where one would pinch. In terms of finish, we have a kurochi finish, but in the Tosa style, if I'm not mistaken. The Tosa style tends to be a little more glossy, almost like it's lacquered. If you can see that. I do like that RGB light. What do you guys think? I know I just asked you, but I'm really digging it. In fact, when I got the new camera setup, I was so obsessed with the light, I think I played with the light for an hour instead of setting up the new camera. So in hand, it feels absolutely fantastic. Light handle, surprisingly thin blade, but it tapers, and I think that's the key here. So again, going back to Funayuki, the tradition, why it originated, why it was invented, it's meant to be a bit of a resilient knife. And if you want a resilient knife, then it can be thin on the edge, which it is, but in terms of the spine, you want to have that resiliency for brittleness to avoid any edge chipping. And so here's the spine. I'll take a better video after because we're about to talk about Shindo-San soon. Now, the other thing I want to ask you guys is, I've had a few people in our Japanese-made knives group, Cutlery and Conversation, on Facebook. There will be a link below if you want to join us. I think we're at about 7,000 members and growing. It's a really fantastic group to talk about anything Japanese kitchen knives. But one person in particular, I think it's Alex Coley. He said, Frankie, it'd be really cool if you had a bit of a workshop, if you had a video where you demonstrate how to take really nice knife pictures. Of course, I don't only do videos, I'm really a photographer above anything else. And I thought that was an excellent idea, so I want to ask you guys, what do you think about that idea? If I did a YouTube live, would you like to see a little maybe 1 hour session where I show you how to take the best pictures you can, talk about lighting, talk about how to use your DSLR properly, if you just have a cell phone, how to use the cell phone? Would you like to see that? I would love to be able to host this little workshop on my channel, but let me know if you are interested, and also, where are you from? What's your originating country? Because in terms of time zones, if I want to think of a time where most of my supporters are going to be available outside of work hours, it'd be nice to know where most of you are from. So, without further ado, First impressions, again, absolutely fantastic. We're gonna do a paper test. We're gonna see if we have an onion in the refrigerator so we can get some first actual in practice cutting impressions. But visuals, aesthetics, I think this is a gorgeous knife. I really like how light the handle is, but yet how well balanced it is right on the pinch grip. It feels great in hand. I have small hands. The handle looked almost to be chunkier than usual, but it's extremely well contoured, so it feels comfortable to grip. I love that hazy Kasumi finish. The Tosa Kurochi lacquer, it's not my favorite, but I also don't dislike it. And I know that as I use it more and more, it's probably going to neutralize some of those really shiny tones that you see in the Kurochi. But super cool. Again, feels great in hand. Let's do some paper tests, and then let's see what it's like in practice if I can find an onion. Otherwise, let's dive in right into the Shindo-San history. Now, the choil and spine are a little bit rough, but again, if you are buying this knife stock at 89 USD, what do you expect? Take some sandpaper, spend 10 minutes, and your choil and spine will be as smooth as a baby's bottom. So that is not a negative comment towards the knife. I'm not sure what I expected, but it's not that rough that it will be unpleasant to use. It's just rough enough that I might actually just decide to spend the 10 minutes to polish the spine and choil. The Kurochi finish, again, though it's a bit hyper gloss, I do imagine that it will mute down as I use it. Love the cladding line, super high, a lot of great exposed core steel, so that's going to be fantastic and easy to sharpen, not worrying about getting too close to the cladding. And now let's do a paper test. Finally, I'm going to keep this intact. Really, it's all about using that Costco magazine. Now everyone likes the paper test because it's fun. Silky smooth. Silky smooth. Ooh. Zach asked me, I hope you like how I sharpened it for you, buddy. I know the paper test doesn't really mean a whole lot about the knife's performance in practice, but I'm pretty sure anyone watching out there will agree that's a nice edge. Thank you so much. Now let's see what it's like on an onion, but first let's talk a little bit about Shindo-San. Kyohei Shindo was born February 22nd, 1988 in Hokkaido. He entered the Department of Marine and Natural Sciences Faculty of Science at Ryukyu University in Okinawa in 2006. While he was in school, he wanted to work on his favorite craftsmanship since he was a kid, and he began to dream of a future as a blacksmith. He decided to go to Seki City in the Gifu Prefecture, one of the leading producers of cutlery in Japan, and gets information that there are many blacksmiths in Kochi Prefecture that he imagines that might be the place to next look into. He looks for a blacksmith in the Kochi Prefecture, but he gives up. He decides to get a job because he believes that there will be a chance if he is in the production area, because there is a job offer at a knife-related company. Now, from April 2010, he became a resident of Kami City in the Kochi Prefecture, and he starts working as a business for a company that wholesales Tosa Uchi Hamono. So basically, I believe a smith. From December 2012, he rents a blacksmith factory that had retired from the front lines and started practicing blacksmithing mainly on Saturdays and Sundays. In October 2017, the Tosa Uchi Hamono Wholesale Company, which he had worked for many years, went out of business, but Shindo-san decided to get a job at the Tosa Uchi Hamono Wholesale Company as a way of taking over the business. Now, if this sounds a little bit broken, it's because this is a direct translation from their website. And so I do apologize, I'm trying to piece everything together, but for the most part, it's coherent. So now he's at the Tosa Uchi Hamono Wholesale Company, which he's taken over. At the same time, he starts to move for independent opening in earnest. Not sure what that means. But from October 2019, he will quit his job and start Kyohei Forging as a sole proprietor. At the same time, he was asked to assist as an instructor at the Kajiya Sosei Ryuku of Tosa Knife Cooperative Association and undertook it with a 2-year promise. In May 2020, his long-cherished factory was completed and Kyohei Forging started in earnest. He likes to fish, he likes to camp, and basically just really likes the outdoors. So there's a little bit about Kyohei Shindo. thanks guys for joining me on this unboxing of this beautiful Funayuki from Shindo-San. See you next time. Remember to like, subscribe to this video, comment in the section below if there's any other topic that you'd like to see covered. I do listen to what everyone has to tell me. In fact, I have a video concept spreadsheet. Every time someone has a great idea, I put down the subject and their name. So if ever I do a video that is a suggestion from one of you, I will also name drop that person. So thanks again. This is a beautiful knife. Can't wait to use it more and more. And until next time.